abruptly out of nowhere just went on a rampage about quoting scriptures from the Bible about homosexuality, calling us vulgar names in front of her cousin.
What names did she call you? Okay.
Queer.
The whole purpose behind law is to right wrong. I want justice to be something that isn't this foreign concept.
Justice knows no boundaries. The truth will be heard. Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Tad Bolton is suing Dorothy Mercer in the amount of $1,250. The plaintiff claims the defendant discriminated against him and poisoned their food. The defendant has a counterclaim for $5,180 for loss of business.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties from sworn, Your Honor.
Third, get up the times. All right, Mr. Bolton, you are suing Ms. Mercer here for $1,250. Yes?
Yes, sir.
You are countersuing them because of damages you believe you sustained as a result of their actions
That's correct.
to the tune of $5,180.
Yes.
So we have two complaints. We're going to start with you. Who wants to go first?
I will.
All right. And you are Tad.
Correct.
Yes. Proceed.
About 4 months ago, we went into Mrs. Mercer's business, which is a restaurant. It's called Mercer's Burger Heaven.
Ma'am, how long have you been in business?
For 25 years, my husband and
25
I have
years.
owned this restaurant.
Okay. And so I take it people in the community like you, business is doing well.
Business was very good. We're well established in the
Well, you said
community.
it was doing it.
Well, until the unfortunate disruption by this plaintiffs,
And you saw a change in the business as a result.
after this incident, they waged a very vicious campaign against my establishment and caused me to lose a great deal of business income.
Despite even being there for 25 years, the people that
That's
normally
true.
support you, they stopped coming as well.
They did.
And then, Mr. Lerner, what happens?
After we placed our order, she was looking at us crazy, like funny and all, because she looked at our wedding bands and she was giving us all.
Well, you don't know if she looked at your wedding bands, but you saw her eyes looking upon you
Yeah, and looking down
in
at
a
us.
way that was what? Judgment. You
Judgmental the way we was looking, or
when you experienced her looking at you, did you all feel like you were under siege?
No, I just immediately kind of felt like there was just some stereotyping going on. After she started looking at us, we just proceeded to give her our order.
Okay.
And then she just abruptly out of nowhere just went on a rampage about quoting scriptures from the Bible about homosexuality and calling us vulgar names in front of her cousin.
What names did she call you?
I really don't feel comfortable saying it, but since you asked,
Well,
names
I
like
need to know so I can understand what was the dynamic.
names like
Okay.
queer.
Queer.
I don't recall saying those
She
terms,
lied.
but
She
my
definitely-
customers, many of whom
You were
go
the
to my
one who
church.
served them. Yes. Initially, you were going to take their order.
I was at the front desk.
Did you make a decision not to serve them?
I suggested that they wouldn't want to eat in our establishment, yes.
You made the decision that they would not want to eat there based on what?
It was clear to me and to my customers that this was
Well,
a
you
gay
don't know what's clear
couple.
to your customers. That's causing you to
Well,
have
there was a lot of
suspicion.
commotion amongst them.
All right. She has that right in Indiana. So why are we here?
after Mrs. Mercer went on her rampage, she just wanted us out of her restaurant, threw a bag of food at us, and we were just.
Well, wait a minute. I thought she said, I will not serve you.
No, I didn't say that she would not serve us. I just said that she went on a rampage when I proceeded to take my order.
And she goes on a rampage and you're still willing to give her your money?
No, we didn't give her any money. We just stood there in shock at her rampage, and then she just threw a bag of food on the counter and said, "Please leave my restaurant." We took the food because we were starving. But later,
You're like, okay, this is just a free meal, huh?
exactly.
And is that what you did? You didn't take their money, but you gave
I was
food?
in frustration. They wouldn't leave. I went into the kitchen and I bagged up a couple of hamburgers.
Stop.
Took it
That
out.
makes more sense. So you got the burgers, Mr. Lerner Bolton. What did you do?
Well, we got the burgers. We sat down at a park down the street and we started eating the burgers.
Yes.
And like a couple of hours later, we started to feel sick. So we went to a local clinic in the neighborhood. And when we
You went to a local clinic
yes.
because you were, when you say you were feeling sick,
Sorry,
describe
we were
it.
feeling sick in our stomach. We were throwing up.
Oh, you weren't just feeling sick, you actually experienced vomiting.
Yes.
Both of you.
Yes.
Coming up on America's Court.
We went to the clinic and they tested the food and they said we got food poisoning. And the only thing we ate earlier that day was her burgers.
Do you think she intentionally poisoned you?
Yes.
And later,
I was gonna leave that security deposit, but he's suing me. Like he's wasting my time, and I have to keep.
So I'll show you, I'm gonna promise you.
Yeah.
I got it.
closed captioning provided by
Johnny, even after careers like ours, we're still going strong. Blue MU Super Strength Cream. It works fast. Stink!
How can whitening strips reach everywhere stains hide? Switch to Plus White. Its Stain Reacher mouth tray delivers a more complete reach at a fraction of the cost. Plus White, the Stain Reacher.
How strong is Allegra D?
My congestion's out of my way strong.
Allegra D, a fast, non-drowsy antihistamine plus a powerful decongestant.
Bleeding free for 24 hours strong.
Allegra D.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
Patio furniture. You guys have any?
Oh, yeah, that'd be all the way down there to your left.
What's the deal?
Because
You don't give it this?
no, but a new garage door is expensive.
Don't pay so round. For as little as $3.99, I can replace this old door. That's less than the price to fix it.
Just make it stop.
For the next 11 callers, I'll even include the installation, sales tax, and bottom seal free. You must call now. Call 888-581-MESA.
Whatever happened to the family phone? The one that kept everyone connected. Say hello to Vonage, the home phone service for today, with more ways to stay connected than ever before. With Vonage, you can talk all you like for just $9.99 a month. And when you really need your family, a single call rings at home and on 2 smartphones, so someone's always there.
With Judge Ross. We're back with the case of Tad Bolton, who is suing Dorothy Mercer in the amount of $1,250.
Ultimately, we're here because you threw up, both of you, and you want her to pay for that because
We went to the clinic and they tested the food and they said we got food poisoning. And the only thing we ate earlier that day was her burgers.
so do you think she intentionally poisoned you?
Yes, I actually think so.
And what are you basing that on?
Basically, we have a lab result sheet here showing that the food that they tested did come back positive and the bill from the hospital.
All right. So you're 20. Each of you are suing for $1,250 a piece.
No, together.
Is it together?
Yes.
All right. Are these the results? You actually took a sample of the burger and had them tested.
They asked us for any remaining particles of the food to be tested.
And you had some.
Yes.
Talk to me, Ms. Murphy.
That I would put anything in their burgers is absolutely ridiculous. What do they think I had poison or something around just for them? There was a whole line of burgers being made.
Anyone complain that day about?
No one else got sick. I don't know. It's been many years since anybody complained about food poisoning, and certainly not that day. And many people had our burgers.
Let's assume for this discussion that your burgers did cause the food poisoning. Do you think you would be, should you be held accountable for their out-of-pocket costs if the food did cause it?
I suppose if they can prove that those particular burgers did, I couldn't see that
So
point.
we've got two
I
issues
just
going on.
can't
We've got
believe-
your complaint of, we think you poisoned us and we suffered an injury and we want you to pay. That's your complaint.
Correct.
Your complaint for $5,180 is about what?
After this incident, they began a campaign against my business.
Is that
They
Yes, it is.
They had online, terrible messages that they put up that spread. I couldn't believe how it spread around that I was hearing about that. other parishioners in my church were telling me about, then people started picketing. I mean, people, they weren't from our community. They brought in people from around, I don't know how far away, and these horrible, horrible signs that they put up that
Hand all that to Deputy Tell.
awful, awful. And as I said, nobody wanted to cross through those picketers, and they wrote letters to the newspaper. Anyway, for 3 months it took till finally things calmed down.
So the
You went
universal
away.
symbol for LGBT is the rainbow, and you put on your Mercer's burgers will poison your liberties. Don't eat their food. And you were past. You all made it a point to say all that, right?
Yeah, I did.
You had a problem with them exercising their rights of free speech.
Yes.
Okay. Unless you can claim that they did something unlawful, you cannot sustain your burden in terms of me finding that they should have to pay you money. And I know this is probably for your out-of-pocket losses, but that's what happens when we live in a society where they get to protest and you can say, I don't like you because you're gay. That's what happens. Your matters dismissed. Now, this issue of the $12.50 for the food poisoning, I don't think it was done intentionally. It could have been. I don't know. I don't get the sense. I know she feels very strongly about her faith, and a lot of people do. So she's not some weirdo. It is what it is. In terms of have you met your burden that this out-of-pocket loss came from her burger place, I believe you have met that burden. So for your claim of $12.50, I will award that amount. That is your judgment. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $1,250. The defendant's counterclaim is denied.
We're happy with the ruling. I hope that people continue to fight for gay rights across the country.
I am not a bigot. I just believe in the Bible and what it says about homosexuality.
And coming up on America's